This House Baratheon challenge, Death Marches, is the hardest one yet. Probably the most fun I've had too. But don't worry, I've got loads of strategies and tips and tactics to help you solve it on Legendary Tactics. Wow, so yeah, this challenge is not easy. I imagine that's why you're here now. Stannis Baratheon has a war to fight. For what, your grace? To be a king protects his people, or he's no king at all. Your tone is insolent, my hand, but your words are true. Very well, we shall defend the realm. So that actually gives us the biggest hint we need for this. So we have to win a Night's Watch attack. And my suggestion for doing that is to go all in. When you get a Night's Watch attack, you need to go for it just to get that victory condition. In a few past games that I've played, I held back by 1. You know, I'd only bid 4 instead of 5, and then I would lose by 1. So one tip right off the hop is just get that checkbox done, and then you can focus on other things. So the second thing is that the game gives us the tip. We have to control 7 castles. And if you see down in the south, there is so much power down there. It's all concentrated. It's really impossible to get a foothold. But up north, you can see it's fairly empty. And so when you said we need to go defend the north, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to aim to send most of my forces up to the north. I'm going to capture some castles up there. I'll support myself so that it's really hard to dig me out. And then down in the south, in Dragon's Keep and Storm's End, I'm just going to defend. I'm just going to hold and muster and hold and muster until the late game, where my plan is to move my fleet down, take those guys. I mean, there's 3 fleets sitting right off the coast there of Dragonstone, so that's tough to dislodge them. But you can do it. You have to use the right card, though, and luckily we've got Salador San, so if we use that card, we can negate all the power of those ships and get them out of there. So that's going to be our main goal here. So first of all, we need to get our ships in position. The Narrow Sea is a wonderful place that you can set up shop and defend a lot of territory. You can raid, you can support, you can convoy units, so that one is pretty critical. Now, I could have moved both down, but I like to keep some support up north so that I can win those castles, and I also like to split my fleet up, my ships, so that I can issue different orders with them. So that one could, say, do a raid, or one could support, or it's good to have a bit of flexibility that way. So Widow's Watch is open right now, so that if I attack into the White Harbor, he's going to have a place that he can retreat to. So I'm going to move all 3 of my units in here and attack Winterfell. Let's take it right off the hop if we can. Of course, I want to keep that. Still got 4 influence, which is decent. He's got the advantage here. However, I've got the support, so it's 5/5. Full deck of cards to work with, but I think I can get away with a slightly lower card. And I did. I was hoping to actually kill his unit off. If you can kill his units, that really severely limits what he can do. So unfortunately, he's just reinforcing the next castle that I'm going to attack. So that wasn't the greatest, but I've also got a lot of great cards in hand, and I've taken the first castle. So I'll be able to slowly gather more influence as I go. And so this is another great strategy here, is just to let them battle it out. So I'm going to try not to get too involved in those conflicts down in the south, because I want them just bashing their heads off each other. All I need to do is hold 2 castles down there, Storm's End and Dragonstone. If I can hold those 2, my goal in this game is to win 5 castles. If I can pull out 6, that would be a real boon, but I think 5 is enough to win, because there's enough powers in this game that most of the strong powers will have up to about 4. I think the winner will have 5, and so here we go. I'm going to go all in on the Iron Throne here for a couple of reasons. I want to be the tiebreaker, so I can position my immediate opponents lower. I also want to be able to muster up in the north in those castles to get more forces up there when everybody else can't. So I need to win that track. So I may have committed a little overly much there, but I think it'll pay off. So I probably could have gotten away with 3. but that's fine. So we're going to continue to let them battle it out here. Not so great in these other two tracks, the King's Court, and I do like the Valyrian Steel. Right now I'm not going to have that many conflicts. It's later in the game that I really need to win the Valyrian Steel, so I'll throughout the game try to build up my influence so that I can win that at a later point. So Storm's End, we just need to set these guys up to dig in. Just contemplating a raid order as a slightly more offensive approach, but if I could muster another unit there just to, it's a bit of a risk, but if I can get another unit there, then there's going to be less likelihood of them attacking, because I really need to keep that stronghold there. Okay, so we'll issue the march order. So now we can get support in. A couple of squares supporting there, so that's great. The other thing you need to be thinking about this at this point is how to maximize your cards. So when you're getting into conflicts, which card is going to work best and when's it going to work? So unfortunately, I can only really do that. Raid resolving there, so that wasn't particularly useful. Yeah, so the north is really, if I can just keep pushing him south, I'll actually force him into conflicts with the other powers that are also my opponents, and that's good for me, so I really just need to clean that north up. So you're going to be thinking about what your cards are. Patchface is one, for instance, that it's a 0, but if you use it at the right time, so if you gather a large force and attack, and it doesn't matter what card you play, you can knock out, say, the Starks. I can knock out his 4-banger and really set myself up to completely dominate. So I'm going to look to get that done. So that's great. I let him move his forces around, so it's actually a much easier win to get up in the north. And once I'm dug in and I've got my supports in place, it's going to be harder for him to knock me out. So now I've got a potential 3-on-1, but I probably shouldn't move everybody. I may actually be able to take him with just the one unit. I think I'm going to go for that. So I've blocked him in Widow's Watch. He can't retreat there, so if I can win this conflict, I'm pretty solid. Lots of support here, so it's a 4-on-1. Should be pretty straightforward. He can do up to 5, so do I want to risk a 1 or toss a low card here? Or go for the kill. Really liking the look of that Melisandre because that'll finish him off. Yes, so that was well chosen. That will end his hopes. And every unit you get off the board is really going to help. And again, that's why letting them battle it out, they're going to be chiseling away at each other, knocking each other's forces down. And that is helpful to us, not only because they're emptying cards, but because they're also getting weaker. So Salador San is going to be great in Shipbreaker Bay, but I'm just not quite in a position to make use of that yet. So I'm just going to get my forces a little tougher here. I managed to get another build in Dragonstone, so that probably has Dragonstone fairly safe. What I think I'll also do is try to muster a few units there and have an army ready to go. Oh, so mustering is great. Now, the one thing I will say about this challenge is that you do need a little bit of luck. And getting a muster early like that is really great for me because I've got 4 places I could potentially build. And Lannister only has 2, Stark 1, Greyjoy 3, House Martell 3, and Tyrell has 5. So only one of these nations is actually ahead of me. So that is a net gain for me, especially since most of my conflict will hopefully be in the north. So if I get a ship in there, he can continue to build influence for me passively and safely, so I'm not potentially losing it. That's something you need to avoid. If you're trying to gain influence and they can raid you and you end up giving them one and you losing one, that is not a good situation. So you don't want to be trying to get influence in a vulnerable position. That's just bad gameplay. So this particular challenge is the perfect puzzle, and it requires that every single piece is in the right place in order to get the win. And if you've had trouble with this so far, that's probably why, because everything needs to work. So okay, so that was a bit of a scam. Sir Davos Seaworth is really pleased that we've beaten the Night's Watch is victorious against a wildling attack. I did absolutely nothing there, but it was the wildling attack was low, so it was fine that I didn't have the influence. So that was a little bit lucky on my part, but as I say, you do need a little bit of luck, and you also need to get all of your pieces in the right places. So you can see I'm completely dominating the north, which is fantastic. Just really set up nicely there. I've got a full array of orders that I can choose from, and this just really opens up a lot of options. So I'm thinking I'll bring my second fleet down now that I've really got control of the north. Maybe I'll get 2 of them in the Narrow Sea, which will really solidify things there. That support actually supports 1, 2, 3, 4 potential units, so that's fantastic. And now that I've got that siege engine there, I've upgraded to that, I can actually attack Moat Cailin with a little more clout. And that would be a great place to use Patchface, so we'll look and see if I can get that option in there. So I'm just going to dig in here. We're just going to defend. Got tons of power here, so I'm going to need to get those guys mobilized, because if I can get them over to Crack Claw Point, that'll get me another victory condition here. Just boost me ahead of everybody. That'll be a late game surge. But really my main strategy here is just focus on the north. And I think that most of the challenges are designed so that they want you to go in a certain direction. It's definitely north in this game. Get a nice defense up down in the south. Those fleets in the north provide really powerful northern support, so don't underestimate what they can do there, because you can actually use them. They cover multiple conflicts. They just keep getting reused over and over, so that's fantastic. Okay, so if I can destroy their raid, that is helpful. It's really going to set us up nicely. So you've got most of the strategies in place now in order to win this. I'm at turn 3 out of 6. But it will take some time to execute this. And you'll notice they're not attacking me down in the south. Again, I have a fairly strong position and I'm supporting myself, which discourages them from the attack. I really do want to start getting some influence going, because I need to get that Valyrian steel. That could make a real difference late in the game if I'm really close and my cards are getting low. My other struggle here is that I need to expand my supply, because otherwise all these big armies are not, I'm not going to be able to create big armies. I'm going to have to separate everybody, which weakens me and makes me a target. So we'll slip down into the fingers. That'll also allow me to potentially raid or break the support. If I can get into the twins. Nope, not getting into the twins. But that Valyrian steel, it at the right time, that can be really powerful. Wow, so Greyjoy and Tyrell have tons of strength down there. So we can just sit back and watch these guys battle it out as they're wont to do. Sitting handily at strength 4, which, as I say, generally will be the lead. Someone may burst ahead and get 5. Okay, so I think it's time to launch my attack now on Moat Cailin. If I can get in there, again, it just pushes them further south. And House Stark is down to just the one castle, so they're really struggling. So that's great if I can essentially take them out of the game. Okay, so he's got lots to choose from there, but that's the old patch face. So that's a perfect use there where there's absolutely no doubt about me winning that. Get rid of my 0. And guess which card Stark is losing? A bye-bye, Eddard. Wow, the Lannisters really have their power consolidated nicely there. A nice pack. But I've got a little bit of insulation between them and me. So Greyjoy is creeping up on me a little bit. I'm not too pleased about that. This could be a bit of a problem because if he slips into the north, that's going to set me back. I've really got a lot of undefended territory there, and I'm in a bit of a precarious position, especially since I'm only at turn 3 out of 6, so I'm going to need to... I'm wondering if the Reach might actually be a place that late game, if I let them battle it out a bit, the Reach might be a place that if I'm in position, I could possibly slip in and steal that as a late game win. So you're going to need to probably surge in the last turn in order to pull off a win here. Alright, so that is unfortunate. So you can see my supply there is maxed out, so I can't get the Shivering Sea down for help. So that's really a shame. But next turn I'll shift my forces around and see if I can get the Shivering Sea down south a little more, because he's not quite as useful up there. And then that would set up for a Shipbreaker Bay attack. Okay, adjusting the supply track. That's great. So I've got some influence. I'm back in the game with 6 influence. My supply is still not great, so I need to do something about that. So I think this is the turn to send Storm's End forward. It does potentially leave me vulnerable there, which I'm not too keen on. I do have this nice grouping here ready to rock, so I'll need to get them into the action soon. So okay, so a nice muster up there will get me an extra unit, but I will probably just have to upgrade him. So the question is, do I defend here? I think I do. I think I just want to hold Moat Caitlin, and excellent. Okay, just sort of tossing random orders out now. So I think the getting that extra fleet down could be quite useful. Ooh, it's a challenge. Do I muster or do I move over to Winterfell? Maybe the move to Winterfell. Oh, this is a tough call, but it's little decisions like these that really make a difference. Getting that extra unit upgraded there, or potentially attacking if he slips in. I think I want to upgrade. I want a little more strength there. We'll go with the safe influence. This guy, I'm going to try to get him down into the Narrow Sea because I need to mobilize him. Yeah, let's get him into the action. Which leaves me with a defense, which is not a bad play if he tries to make an incursion there. It would really flummox my plans if he took the Narrow Sea. Alright. So, nothing I can do there. Well, that was unfortunate. I was hoping that I was able to raid him, but I obviously misunderstood that aspect of the game. There's a lot of nuances to the play here that you really need to get to know if you're going to get really good at this game. Crackclaw Point is still really vulnerable, so I like the look of that. I think I'll get up here to Kingswood and extend my influence, get an extra supply, and separate those forces so that I can have 2 units up in the north together. Love seeing Greyjoy get into it here. That is perfect. And Stark too. They can both use up those good cards. Turn 4 of 6. Man, this game is epic, but this is where it starts getting tense because you're invested. You're 20 minutes into the game. And now if you mess up, one little mistake can throw everything off balance. And you know it too. I mean, it comes down to sometimes when you get into a conflict, and do you put a 2 down? Do you put a 1 down? If you get away with the 1, then it's a huge win. That's where Valyrian Steel is nice, because you can put the lower card, and then in a worst case scenario, you just invoke the Valyrian. But every decision really matters in this challenge in particular. I think the other synergy you need to do is get Stannis Baratheon out of your hand so that your number 3 card powers up. Or the number 2, I've forgotten. One of them powers up when Stannis Baratheon's already been played, so that gives you more options that way. The other challenge with this is you need to cycle your cards. So if you've got a few siege engines battling, that gives you a little bit of a breather so you can play the lower cards in your hand that aren't quite as useful. So I'm in a good position for siege engines. Yeah, okay, so there's Greyjoy busting in. So we knew that was going to happen. But we're going to have to remedy that. Greyjoy. So, do I muster an extra ship? Why not? Let's get a little extra naval support out there. Okay, so I am really full up on my mustering, so unfortunately I can't muster in the north. That is a real shame. But I can strengthen my units in the south. I really need some defensive units there just to hold that. We'll get another siege engine, so when it's time to attack Crackclaw Point, I will be ready. So he's got another fleet up there. Well, on the bright side, I can steal that fleet from him. So if I take 4 influence, I'm up to 10, so I'm in really good shape here. So that's where I'm thinking Valyrian Steel needs to come my way. I'm going to really try to make sure I win that. So, time to attack. Let's get that ship out to sea. And I can get maximum support here, which is fantastic. So I am not messing around. We'll just dig in down here with these guys. The question is, do I put the move in assuming that I'm going to win that square and attack Crackclaw at this point, or do I wait until next turn? I think I wait till next turn, because then I lose a value. I've only got the 2 march orders, and I think I really need those in the north. Influence isn't going to hurt me there. Raid, lots of potential enemies I can raid there. Sheesh, not a lot I can do there. I guess I can potentially get a raid order in on the fingers. really not a lot left. It's not a huge deal if I lose that, so might even retreat into the Twins where I want to go. That would actually be ideal to help support Moat Cailin, so good to get a glance at what your opponents are doing too. Just keep an eye on where you think they might be attacking, just in case you need to do your orders in a particular order. Okay, so there might be an attack from the Grey Water Watch coming. Hopefully it's not against me. Baratheon's pretty fun. They're fairly centrally located, so you can go whichever direction you like. They're sea-based too, so you can have a little bit of power that way. Okay, here's the big fight. And this is where Salladhor Saan needs to come out because he negates the power of their ships. Yeah, I mean, these guys are great, but Salladhor, yeah, so I'm being supported. So the non-Baratheon ships, which are all 3 of his, are reduced to 0. That is sweet. Oh boy, just crushed him with my single fleet. 1 down. 2 down, and that one will retreat. Okay, so he's got a bit of power in Blackwater Bay, so I'm going to need to watch out for that. But I'm sitting pretty comfortably here. The Greyjoys are a problem. They've got 5 castles, which I'm not keen on, especially when I'm only at 4. House Stark's out of it. House Lannister's crushed. House Martell is not good. Tyrell is fairly weak. Oh, and he's attacking me. Okay. Kingswood isn't completely pivotal to my plan. I might be able to pull this out. Oh, its highest is 3. But it's not really a super important battle for me. It would be nice if I could upgrade. And so, right, it was the 2 that gets upgraded when Stannis is out there. So I'll go for the 3. We'll try it. Wow, I'm ahead. Oh, that went the wrong way. Oh no. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate, but I've got my retreat to the Twins, which actually, in a way, that is better for me. I wasn't intending that, but getting that unit up there is just fine. So my hopes of getting into the Reach are quashed, but that's fine. There's lots of other spaces I can go. Wow, House Martell has 12 influence. Tyrell has 15 influence. What on earth are they saving up for? So here's the question. Do I go in and attack now and try to burn his card down? I'd likely lose that conflict. Is there another option? He's 5. That's not so good. Just not really worth it because I don't think I would be able to take the Reach anyways. 3 is his best card. This is the play. This matters. This one makes a difference. Man, I really want to take the North back. This is just an ego thing, I think. Fighting up here, this is probably a bad move, but I might be able to squeeze it out. I just want to see how much damage I could take here because I do not want to lose that unit. So I need to defend against that. All right, we're going all in here. Let's do it. This is really going to be important. So it's 1 on 4, 2 on 4. 2 is his highest card, so we could tie here. Really wish I had that Valyrian steel. He got me, but that war's not over yet. We'll be back. At least I didn't die. That could have been terrible. Turn 5 of 6. This game is coming to an end very shortly. Seems like it takes about 10 minutes per turn. Man, this is a nail biter. I love it. Okay. This battle doesn't really matter that much to me. I've got a strong... Oh, this is great. So I cycle my cards. I've got a good card to put out. I win the battle. Love it. That gives me all the options in the world. So thank you, Stark, for helping me out there. Those are the kind of things you can't control. You can mitigate, but you can't entirely shape what they do. My supply is so limited that I think mustering here actually hurts me. I just can't quite. So I think updating the supply track is better. Iron Throne, okay. Love the throne. Let's keep the throne. No, 15. Not gonna keep the throne. Yeah, that was a big bid. Alright, poor Starks. Let's just knock them down a peg, but the Greyjoys, I want them right at the bottom. Alright, Valyrian Steel it is. Here we go. I mean, there's really not much point in keeping too much influence in turn 6. Maybe I'll keep 1, just in case I need to not be the lowest against the wildlings. King's Court, meh, let's keep the 1 influence. No sense being completely broke. This is where it gets a little bit tense. Tyrell breaking ties, okay. Wildlings, please don't be too punitive. Get the 1 in there so I'm not the lowest. Whew, we just beat him. Good thing I kept that 1. Okay, so the sequence here is really important. Yes. I'm gonna take Crack Claw. That guy needs to dig in. Storm's End, hold strong, my friend. That's your only job this game. Go for a raid or support? Well, there's just so many spaces covered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by the narrow sea. So I think I need a support there. Can go for a march and take Winterfell back at the risk of losing Moat Caitlin. Man, assigning orders is tough when you're this close to a victory. Sitting at 4, Greyjoy's at 4. I am poised to take at least 1 castle fairly handily if I launch that attack quickly. The raid could potentially... Oh, maybe it's not connected there. Get another support in. Gotta hold the north. Cannot fall up there. I'm really thin on troops. This is tense. Alright, it's locked and loaded. My fate is sealed. There's not much I can do now to change my fates. Okay, so this is the attack I need to launch while I can. Guess we gotta burn through these raid orders. Ooh, I do not want an attack on Storm's End, so Kingswood, you need to lose that support. Cross your fingers. This is where it really gets frustrating if everybody goes all in on you and attacks every vulnerable place you have on the map. Let's hope that doesn't happen here. Alright, this is the fun part. Do I leave somebody behind? I don't think anybody's coming to attack me, so... as long as I retain control of Dragonstone. Okay, he's got a high card of 3. And I can just toss off my 0. Let's just weaken him in case he tries for one of my castles. I don't need Valyrian steel there. That is a pretty definitive win. Alright, that weakens him. Love it. Gets me up to 5. I am now in the lead. Brilliant. So overall, this seems to be the strategy that you're going to need to use is claim the north, be strong in the north, hold the south, gather your forces so you can make a late strike, and completely control the seas. That's where my dominance is coming from. I have a lot of flexibility, I have a lot of support. And I mean, nobody's even coming to fight me in the north because I've sort of got that plugged up at Mount Caitlin. It's just not even worth their time to try to get up there. All right. Winterfell, I need to own you. I mean, after all, it's the first castle I took. So the siege engine has to go. No question there. Do they have any orders left that they can take Mo Caitlin with? They do not. I think I leave the knight behind. I don't think I need him. I've got enough power. I should be able to handle this. It's going to be close. 4-4. Oh, shoot. Yeah, he's got the extra. But don't forget. Ooh, he's got some good cards. I got Valyrian steel, though. I am at 5. I'm ahead of everybody regardless of the outcome. Let's use the Valyrian. That gets me the win. So this is a comfortable victory then, if I can hold this. Ooh, and I get to claim his ship there. I will take that, no problem. It gets me up to 6. Wow, one more would actually win it. So if I had still been positioned by the Reach, that might have been a nice little heroic leap at the end. This looks like this game is winding down, so hopefully this is useful to you. If there's been any strategies or tips or anything helpful to you here to get you the win, then please consider giving us a subscription. Consider liking the video. This has been a lot of fun. I think I've enjoyed this challenge more than any of the other ones. Maybe I'm counting my eggs before they're hatched. There we go. Jon Snow. Lord Stannis, you have my thanks and the thanks of all the men of the Night's Watch. Call him King Stannis, boy. He's earned that and more. Sir Davos is getting feisty. There's the win with 6 castles. Next highest is 4. 5 would have done it. That's the victory. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the last challenge, Capture Winterfell. Ooh, I guess we've got to beat Coastal Assault too. This is Legendary Tactics, and I'm Flash. Bye for now.